doomsday fish, believed to be harbinger of earthquakes.
So I hope y'all don't need me to tell you that that is not a doomsday fish or a harbinger of earthquakes. That's an oarfish. So kind of in legend, myth, whatever, folklore around the area, the oarfish is called a harbinger of earthquakes. However, there is absolutely no scientific link to that whatsoever. It's also not a symbol of anything. It has no link to end of days or whatever the fuck. And in this video, he calls it a sea serpent. It's not a sea serpent, it's just a fish. And I'll talk more about the fish later because it's actually a very cool fish. He also titles this a very clickbaity sea serpent and harbinger of earthquakes, and then he says actually pretty much nothing about that at all. He goes into water, and water's weird and like whatever. He doesn't actually talk about the fish itself, which is lame. So he really just does not talk about the harbinger of earthquakes beyond a clickbaity sea serpent title and about 3 seconds worth of video. So let me talk about the oarfish, the actual fish, and not a harbinger of anything. Harbinger, whatever, fuck, you know how it's pronounced. Of anything, other than you get to see a cool fish. So this is the fish that he was talking about, an oarfish, and you know what? Fair enough. If I saw this and I didn't know what it was, I could see this being classified as a sea serpent because look at that thing. This isn't even like as big as they get. They can get absolutely fucking massive. So they're just a big ass fish with absolutely no correlation to earthquakes or doomsday or anything. So, oarfish are deep sea fish, and they very, very rarely come to the surface, and so unfortunately for the oarfish in this picture and in the video that I'm stitching, it wasn't an actual oarfish in the video, it was a screenshot of a news article about an oarfish. Anyway, unfortunately for that fish, it likely means that it is injured, sick, or old, and likely close to being dead. Very unfortunate, but yeah, if oarfish are close to the surface, it means that they're probably going to die. They usually stay like this, suspended vertically in the water column, which in my opinion is just cursed. Like, you don't need to be doing this. They are a very cool fish, and I think they're neat, but there's literally no correlation to seeing oarfish and earthquakes. There might have been a coincidence, but that's not causation or anything. They're not involved at all in earthquakes. There's no scientific evidence. The only potential link that I could possibly think of, and again, this is just my thoughts on a potential thing, this is no scientific base, is that a earthquake, like potential coming, could cause some, I don't know, fucking chemicals or something, a change in the ocean that affects the oarfish and causes them to get sick and die and therefore come up to the surface, but there is absolutely no evidence supporting this. That is my only very, very base potential hypothesis for any possible link, but that is likely not true there's likely no base to that at all. That's the only possible thing I could think of, though, other than just a couple coincidences. So, yeah, Mr. Clickbait, Sea Serpent, Harbinger of Earthquakes, Doomsday Fish, it's just an oarfish, it's just a guy.